welcome to today's episode of Voices of the Present. Today we have here with us Adam. Ghannoum is an advocate for Islam and he also gives dawah. He clears misconceptions about Islam through his writing and social media and fights Islamophobia and ignorance through reason. Adam is currently a high school student in Baltimore County and is an intern here at ILIA. So the first question I have for you, Adam, is what made you want to start combating Islamophobia and misconceptions in Islam?
Assalamu alaikum. That's a good question. I think for me, it's when I'd be browsing through YouTube and there'd be these random videos on Islam and they'd have provocative thumbnails. Islam is this, Islam is that. And you'd click on them and be putting out false information where they'd misrepresent Islam and Muslims and immigrants and all these things. And you go into the comments and there's just more information. So what ended up happening was just lots of confusion and I wanted to get to the bottom of it. So started looking into things, started searching up and doing research, and eventually I came to the conclusion that all this was misinformation and all this twisting and turning and all these false misconceptions is out there. So that's kind of what pushed me to go and take the initiative.
So obviously there are numerous misconceptions that people have about Islam. Which stands out to you the most and why is that?
I think by far the biggest one is the one that sparks the most fear in people, which is the misconception that Islam is a religion that's inherently violent and that the Arabs and Muslims are inherently come to get you and all this stuff, all these misconceptions that they've been around for centuries, right? Even in the medieval times, right? The Pope and the church would, espouse these misconceptions about Muslims and they'd, make the people be afraid. And they'd say, if you don't pick up arms, the Muslims are going to come get you. So stuff like that when people think of Islam, they automatically correlate terrorism and violence. That's a spread around the most.
So what do you think the main source of these misconceptions are?
The main source is most likely the media and the politics of today. The media, when they're speaking about Islam, they'll bring on people who are unqualified to speak about it, right? They'll bring on talk show hosts, influential atheists sometimes, or even one time, pretty famous incident, they brought on an ISIS supporter to interview him about what he thought about, the current state of the Middle East. And so stuff like that it scares the viewer, and the viewer sees that and they believe what is told to them. So I think that's by far the biggest source is the media.
So how should we as youth battle these stereotypes and stand up for our deen?
I think step one is for us as youth to look in and do the research and come to the conclusion that our deen is solid, religion is the truth. And once we come to that, we should go and have discussions and talk with others about these things, talk to our friends and our classmates and inform them about what Islam really is. Because if you're their friend and you're Muslim and they have that image of Islam as violent and all that stuff, you're not doing much, but you can very easily talk to them and have a discussion. Step one, ground yourself in the faith. Step two, talk to others and have discussions and clear up the misconceptions.
Well, that's all the questions I have for you today. Thank you for your knowledge, your advice, and your input is very much appreciated.
Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.